When Russia started its campaign against Ukraine on the 24th of February, many experts predicted that they would roll over the Ukrainian Force and occupy most of the country in 1 to 2 weeks. But it's not worked out like that. While the Ukrainians have fought bravely, the conflict has exposed many inherent weaknesses in the Russian force that are very glaring, to say the least. In this video, Defense Updates analyzes why Russia can no longer be perceived as a first-rate military power. Let's get started. This video is sponsored by NordVPN. NordVPN is a premium VPN service available for macOS, iOS, Windows, and Android with more than 5,400 servers in 60 countries. But why use a VPN or virtual private network? VPN is an encrypted tunnel. A VPN can protect your privacy, which is threatened by many factors like data logging by internet service providers. It can also help you access contents which are blocked based on geolocation. Why NordVPN? Its servers are fast and has zero log policy. Not only this, NordVPN has taken one step further and recently introduced a new feature, threat protection. Threat protection prevents malware from getting on users' devices and blocks trackers, intrusive and malicious ads, and harmful websites. Use the link in the description to get up to 71% off the 2-year plan plus threat protection for no extra cost. At the checkout, use the code DEFENSE to get an extra month for free. Russian aircraft seem to be using non-military navigation systems. An attached Garmin GPS navigator was found in the cockpit during an investigation into a downed Russian plane. Information about the use of civilian software navigation devices is confirmed by a statement by the British Secretary of Defense, who said that Russia records basic GPS devices on its fighter jets. Ben Wallace claims that Russian navigation equipment is in critical condition, forcing pilots to use board-mounted receivers. According to Wallace, the problem is rooted in the fact that Russia's own navigation systems are of poor quality, not just airplanes. Note that this is not a one-off case, but several such occurrences have been noted. Napoleon Bonaparte had stated, "The amateurs discuss tactics, the professionals discuss logistics." A modern army that had several months to plan an invasion is supposed to be well supplied with basic requirements, but this has not been the case with the Russian military. Russian soldiers in Ukraine appear to be crowdsourcing their own equipment, including medical supplies and GPS kits. Postings on Russian-language social media sites, such as Telegram, are increasingly calling for donations to pay for kits for frontline troops, including weapon sights, multi-tools, and red dot targeting equipment. Separate postings have been applied for funds to buy first aid kits with syringes, pain-killing injections, and frontline medications for Russian President Vladimir Putin's forces. Russian military have been losing their military drones to Ukrainian troops rapidly and have started to deploy UAVs that belong to the Russian Ministry of Emergency Situations due to the shortage. The circumstances became even worse, and Russian forces have resorted to using civilian drones in many areas. The 27th of April, the world's largest drone manufacturer, DJI Technology Company, said it will temporarily suspend business in Russia and Ukraine to ensure its products are not used in combat. The Russian Center for Analysis of Strategies and Technologies said that the deficit was also affected by civic initiatives to purchase drones for Russian troops. In addition, since February, drones have risen in price by 30%, similar to electronics prices, but in the professional segment, prices have tripled. On the 14th of April, the Russian Ministry of Defense confirmed that the Russian Navy's Black Sea flagship RTS Moskva 121 has been sunk. The frontline warship had a triple-layered air defense system, but was unable to stop 2 incoming Neptune anti-ship missiles. Viewers may note that Neptune is a subsonic missile, and most modern warships are supposed to reliably defend against even supersonic missiles, especially when they have to deal with only a few, like in the case of Moscow. Since that setback, Russia has been putting land-based air defense systems, such as Tor, on ships to prevent a repeat. But apparently this has not worked. Russian tugboat Vasily Beck was hit when it was transporting supplies to Snake Island and was struck by 2 Western-supplied Harpoon anti-ship missiles, even though it had Tor for protection. Russia seems to be running out of PGM, or precision-guided munition, like 250 kilogram (550 pound) KAB-250 and 500 kilogram (1,100 pound) KAB-500 precision-guided bombs. Many Russian aircraft losses have been caused due to this, including the Su-34. Hitting a target with dumb bombs, which have no guidance, requires coming in low, and this exposes the aircraft to threats like manpads. Aircraft like Su-34 are not supposed to engage targets like this, but the pilots have no option but to take such risks. It's well known now that at least 317 Russian officers have been killed, a third of them majors, lieutenant colonels, and colonels. This is a huge number by all stretch of the imagination. UK intelligence attributed the deaths of senior commanders to their going to the field to personally lead operations to address difficulties in command and control and faltering Russian performance on the front line. The highly top-down Russian force has been rather ill-prepared to wage a fast-paced, modern-day war. The Russian Air Force has a 10-to-1 advantage against Ukraine. It was thought that Russia would have full control of the skies in a few days. But even now, Ukrainian aircraft are flying and air defenses are firing. Technically, the Suppression of Enemy Air Defenses (SEAD) operation has been a major failure, and Russia has even lost its most modern operational jet due to this. While Russians may be decent at engaging fixed targets, when facing dynamic ones like mobile air defense systems, they've been found wanting. It's interesting to note that Western pilots, especially American ones, who fly SEAD missions, undertake specialized training to hone their capabilities. Thanks for watching. Subscribe for more videos like this. Hit the like button if you find the video interesting, and kindly provide your feedback in the comment section. This will help us improve.